Hello viewers, I am back live again on YouTube and hopefully the internet will be reliable and you can see me as well as hear me without much buffering. In today's video, I'll look back at the previous week on YouTube where I uploaded a live stream where I tried to learn about OBS, and we will try to use OBS more often for live streams. This one of course is not using OBS. And in the OBS video, I talked about the presidential race in the United States of America. It's a tightly contested presidential race, as are all presidential races in my living memory. In my living memory, I have had the amazing track record of always predicting the loser or the person who does not win, if loser is too much of a trigger word. In 2000, I predicted that Al Gore would win. In 2004, I thought John Kerry would win. In 2008 was the only exception to my rule, where I always end up predicting the person who does not win. In 2008, I felt Barack Obama would win. In 2012, I felt Mitt Romney would win. In 2016, I felt Hillary Clinton would win. In 2020, I was absolutely certain that Donald Trump would win. And in 2024, my prediction is that Donald Trump would win. Although in the video that I shared, I talked about Alan Lichtman, who has the track record of predicting correctly the presidential winner for the last 40 years since 1984, and his method, which can be described as the 13 keys to the presidency, which has been published and has been widely talked about in the media. These keys can be retrospectively applied to predict the winner of the American presidency correctly, dating all the way back to 1860. So on the one hand, you have somebody with a track record dating all the way back to 1860 predicting that Kamala Harris would win, and on the other hand, you have someone like me with a track record of about 20 years of always predicting the person who does not win, with one exception, saying that Donald Trump would win. So let us find out who is right, and I have it live on YouTube now, so you can hold me to it. And definitely we'll talk about that once the results are declared. Now, as far as the long form videos are concerned, I would talk about videos 254 to videos 258. Video number 254 talked about cranial nerve 0, which, even if you have never heard of it, just by the numbering, you would think it is associated with cranial nerve 1, which is the olfactory nerve, and you would be correct. Cranial nerve 0, the video title Cranial Nerve 0, talks about olfactory pathway, something which is not described in great detail in ENT classes, and I've tried to describe them in as much detail as I could. In video number 255, I talked about the various MCH opportunities that are available to postgraduates in ENT. ENT is often viewed as what is called an end specialty, but there are people who want to pursue further specialization or super specialization, and certain super specialization options are available. There are a lot of myths and a lot of false information on the internet. So I decided to check the official websites of the two super specialization exams that are conducted in India, INISS and NEET-SS, and I was pleased to find out that it is not just head neck surgery that is the only MCH option available to postgraduates in India. There is also surgical oncology and plastic surgery. Now, through NEET-SS, postgraduates in ENT can only try to get MCH in head neck surgery. There are about 29 seats all over India. But through INISS, which is for the premier institutes in India, you can pursue MCH even in plastic surgery. You can pursue MCH even in surgical oncology, in addition to head neck surgery. Now, head neck surgery, plastic surgery, and surgical oncology, all three MCH options are available in AIIMS, but not in every single AIIMS. Many AIIMS, there are 15 AIIMS under the ambit of INISS, the last time I checked. In many of these institutes, all three are available to postgraduates in ENT, head neck surgery, plastic surgery, and surgical oncology. However, AIIMS has an upper age criteria of 35. If you're older than that, you cannot apply for INISS. For plastic surgery, you also have the option in PGI Chandigarh. So PGI Chandigarh, you have head neck surgery as well as plastic surgery, and the upper age criteria to apply for PGI Chandigarh is 45. Now, the interesting thing about AIIMS and PGI is it's not just the exam, it's not just the multiple choice question exam. There is also a lab-based or a clinical-based exam that is called the Section 2 of the entrance exam. And I've described all of this in detail in video number 255. In JIPMER, there is no upper age criteria, but in JIPMER, the only MCH option available to postgraduates in ENT is surgical oncology, which is also available to postgraduates in general surgery, orthopedics and obs-gynae postgraduates. Next up, I talked about University of Pennsylvania smell identification test, which is a quantitative test for measuring smell dysfunction. Now, all of us are aware of it, and Pennsylvania is in the news for the presidential elections. But from an ENT point of view, this is a very famous test, but we don't really talk about it in great detail, which I have talked about in the video on University of Pennsylvania smell identification test. It's the most popular smell test, and it is something which a patient can take on their own, and it can be interpreted in less than a minute, and people can be categorized under 6 categories: normosmia, normal smell; mild, moderate, severe microsmia or decreased smell; anosmia or complete absence of smell; and possible malingering, there's somebody who's faking their symptoms. The next video I talked about is again a very frequently requested video. This is NHS interview, where I shared tips regarding how you should approach NHS interview, and I shared the tips directly from somebody who I trust a lot, somebody whose YouTube videos inspired me to start a YouTube channel myself, and her advice has always been valuable and effective. So I shared a reaction video to her video on NHS interview, how you should approach it, and a very important line in that video is that an NHS interview only happens after a series of applications and many rejections. So if you're going through a series of applications and you're getting rejected multiple times, my advice to you would be to not lose hope. It is a long process. It is long for everyone. Everyone who is now working in NHS has gone through the same long, arduous, demoralizing, if I may add, process. But don't lose heart and keep persisting. The next video I talked about, or I didn't talk about, I mostly showed London morning at 6 a.m. in October, and this was my first solo experience of the London Underground, and the video is not of a very good quality. I am the first person to accept that. It is jerky, it is moving around. It's an amateur video. I shot it while walking, and I was slightly nervous as well, because I was not very familiar with London back then when I shot the video. But it captures the London scene at 6 a.m. in October, and I hope you would enjoy that video as well. So this was my live stream on YouTube, and I'll see you soon in the next live stream. Take care.